Bonjour my friends, so welcome back to this video. This is called the ladder of consciousness. Now if you're anything like me, you love visualization. This is a really good way when you get in a funk, when I got stressed, when I got anxious, I kind of visualize this ladder and kind of say like, imagine a ladder with steps of 1 to 10. Where am I currently at on this ladder? Okay, I'm at step number 2. What do I need to do to get up to a step number 7, step number 8, step number 9? Because when you get up to that level, you're kind of raising your consciousness, you're feeling better, more focused, more energized. So what I'm going to show you is a way that you could do that, and it's a really cool way just to visualize of like, where am I currently at in my life right now? What do I need to do to take it to the next level? So look, the lowest level of consciousness is death. I'm pretty sure if that's the case for you, you wouldn't be watching this video, okay? So the next level, which I call chronic, right? This is we're in a state of chronic, where we're chronically in a state of fear, stress, anxious, overwhelmed, right? Chronically frustrated, always angry, always resentful, right? So if you look at like this, fear, and there's videos that explain this a bit down below. Fear holds so many people back in their life, but fear is not really the problem as much as the fear of failure is not so much a problem when it holds people back. It's what really holds people back is the fear of being perceived as a failure, okay? That's what really holds people back. Now, if you look at resentment and anger, they're just forms of fear. Unmet expectations, frightened of losing something you've got, or the fear of not getting something that you want. They breed anger and resentment, okay? So then we've got frustration. We're frustrated because we're not where we want to be. We're chronically feeling lost, and we're chronically, feeling stuck in our life. We're just every day, it's, I feel lost, I feel stuck. This is when we're on a low level of consciousness, right? In this place here, which I call like survival. A lot of people are in this. A lot of people that come to us are in this place of survival. So we've got the next level of that, which I call the EMLL, right? So this is a place of stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. But like you'll see in my other videos down below, we're going up a few levels on the ladder here, right? We're becoming more self-aware, right? In the other videos down below, I talk a lot about, right, the feelings like stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And I'm not going to go into too much here because I've already done video on it down below. They're not a problem. Okay, it's when, and this is specifically, it's when they go into a chronic state. So you're here, right? Something happens, you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you feel overwhelmed. What most people do is they try and avoid that, or they try and get rid of it, right? And it keeps coming up until it tips you into a place of being chronically stressed, overwhelmed, chronically, like always angry, always resentful, okay? So this is tipping a scale. So I call this the EMLL when we're in this place here, middle of the ladder, which is, I call stress, anxiety, and overwhelm the engine management light of your life, yeah? Basically, just like the dashboard on your car, when something's wrong with it, the light comes on. You get a choice to either go and get it fixed, or do what I used to do all the time, just take the light bulb out and hopefully it'll just sort itself out and pretend it's gone away, right? Try and sedate it and numb it with drink and drugs or wine or food, whatever it might be. Okay, so this is the next level up. Then we're going to get to here, right? And so we're going higher up on the ladder, right? Ladder of consciousness. This is where ownership. Okay, this is how I'm feeling, right? This is where I'm currently at. I'm going to take ownership of this situation, right? Because nothing will ever change if we can't take ownership. If all our problems are someone else's fault, nothing's ever going to change in our life, because we're going to need a hell of a lot of people to do what we want them to do, or a hell of a lot of people to change to fit our narrative for us to be happy. And that's never going to happen. So we have to take ownership of our life, right? I am where I am. And this is something a lot of people struggle with, is like they fight with reality. They think they should be somewhere other than where they are. That's not saying that you can't get there. This was my biggest struggle when I was struggling with depression, and I had this realization. I was just like, Mike, your inability to accept reality for what it is. You think that your life should be different, you deserve better, without actually putting in any work. You just think that it should be better and you deserve more, and you deserve all this stuff because you've got a pulse and you're breathing, right? So this is the part we take ownership, courage, and acceptance. Courage. It takes a lot of courage for people to go, do you know what? When I'm pointing one finger at you, I've got 3 fingers pointing back. It takes a lot of courage for people to go, do you know what? Hey, that's my responsibility. I'm going to take responsibility of that. Because a lot of people like to play the blame game. A lot of people like to point the finger, right? So courage and acceptance. Okay, I'm going to accept where I am right now. I'm going to accept that my best level of thinking has got me to where I am now, right? but I'm going to do something different from here, right? You haven't come this far to only come this far in life. And a lot of people spend their life in this place of lower down on the ladder, down here, right? Thinking about the past, living in the past. You don't drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror consistently. You just check back, you check back, you check back, right? But you're always looking forward and driving forward. So this is ownership and acceptance. And then at the top of the ladder, we have inspiration, joy, love, fun, playfulness, focus, taking action, moving closer to the things that we want. You know, instead of being in this place here where we're in the blame, we're resentful, we're angry, life's not working out how we wanted it to, we go to this point here where it's okay. Let's get focused. Let's take action. Let's move forward. Despite what happens, I will continue to move my feet forward. Now, just because you get to this point, it doesn't mean at times you don't slip down this ladder, right? And we're going to talk about this point here in the video that I done down below, which is called the engine management light of your life, because this is midway point, right? So you might be asking now, how do you climb the ladder of consciousness? Well, there's three things that we really focus on, right? What I focus on with people that I work with and members in my group, number one, is our energy, okay? We have to look at our energy. Most people's lives ain't as fucked up as they think they are, right? Most people are struggling because they're just burnt out. They're overthinking all the time. That takes a lot of mental energy, right? They're running around after the kids, they've got jobs, and they just feel burnt out because they don't look after themselves, right? Energy. I'm back, right? Energy, think of it like this. Energy really comes like what you're putting into your eyes, what you're putting into your mouth, what you're putting in up your nose, right? What you're putting into your ears. What are you watching? What are you listening to? If you're constantly always getting caught up in like negativity all the time, this isn't just about thinking positively. There's a video down there about thinking positively and why it's so overrated, right? But if you're just constantly always giving your energy too many fucks to things that don't need a fuck, getting caught up in drama, scrolling on your phone, oh, have you seen what Mary's up to or Bob's up to? I can't believe this, right? Giving all your energy and focus to things that really isn't moving the needle forward in your life, you're giving your energy away and you're going to feel exhausted, you're going to feel tired. The next one we look at is perceptions, yeah? Our perceptions. This is a big thing for people, right? In the sense of, you know, it's not usually the boss that's creating our stress or anxiety. It's not usually the job that's creating, well, most of the time, it's not the job that's creating the anxiety. It's our perceptions, our beliefs, right? And you would have seen that in the video number one where I talk about mindset and skill set, right? Set of beliefs, stories and assumptions that we have about the world and how we see the world, right? Why is it that some people are scared of heights, other people are not? It's because their perceptions and their beliefs about heights. Why is it I'm scared of frogs and most people laugh about that, right? Because it's my perception and my story I tell myself about frogs. Why is it some people are scared of snakes, right? Because it's their perceptions and their belief, right? Now, ultimately, let's come to this here, fear. There is a healthy level of fear when it comes to a poisonous snake to keep your distance, right? Because it can bite you and kill you. That's perfectly fine. But most people, like I've done talks before and I said, if I was to bring a snake in and put it in a corner, and let's say there's 20 people in the room, what would you do? You know, at least 17 or 18 go, oh my God, I'd freak out, I'd run out screaming and shouting. I'm like, okay, so what's causing that to happen? Oh, well, it's the snake, it's a snake. But why isn't everyone doing that, right? This was massive for me to see that how we experience life is really coming from our perceptions. So we change our perceptions. This has been like massive for people in their relationships or, you know, their wealth and fitness, their health and fitness goals, you know, their relationships, moving forward in their career, taking control of their life. When they shift their perceptions and the stories they're telling themselves about the thing, amazing things happen. So this is it. Yeah. We've got energy, we've got perceptions, and WTFU, yeah? WTFU is a willingness to feel uncomfortable, willingness to feel uncomfortable. And this is where it comes in to this point here, right? The middle point here, right? When we are experiencing some stress, anxiety and overwhelm, and you'll see in the video below, willingness to sit with that uncomfortable feeling and ask the question, what is this showing me about my life, right? will help you to grow and solve more problems in your life. What most people do is that I've got to avoid the stress, don't look at it, got to avoid the anxiety, got to avoid the overwhelm. And what happens is it keeps coming up. There's this great saying, what you can't be with won't let you be. Okay? So this is the level of consciousness here, right? The ladder of consciousness. So when you're feeling down in here, right, let's just say I'm feeling a 2 out of 10 today. Let's just say here I'm in this chronic stress, or maybe I'm a 4 or 5 out of 10, which is here. I'm feeling a bit of stress, feeling a bit of anxiety, a bit of overwhelm, nothing major, right? We get to do two things. We get to look at our energy. We need to protect our energy. We need to look at what we're putting in our mouth. Are we drinking enough water, right? Are we resting enough? Are we going too hard, right? Are we looking after ourselves, right? We need to look at our perceptions of the thing, right? Oh, my boss is creating all this stress. Well, if that's the case, he would be doing it for every single person on the planet, but that wouldn't be true, right? Because it's your perceptions of that. We need to look at our perceptions. And the next one is a willingness to feel uncomfortable. This here is when the willingness to feel uncomfortable. If we're constantly trying to move away from that, that's when the chronic fear and resentment and stress and anxiety kicks in, because we're not willing to accept, we're not willing to sit with the uncomfortable feelings and able to learn the lessons of what they're showing us about our life.